Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome to another installment of Home Solutions, your area's only local home and garden show, brought to you by our good friends, and I say that because I'm one of them, at Pro 93 Home Solutions, your friendly local neighborhood general contractor. I'm here today with some good buddies of mine. We're going to have a good show today. Introduce you to a new member of our team, well, a new old member of our team, and talk to you a little bit about some of the things that have happened here in the last few weeks in our area weather-wise and how that affects your home. Just before that, we'll get the shameless plug right out of the way. Dennis Purvis here with you live and direct from the Mix 104.1 studio. Thank you for listening today. As you're going out today and you're listening to this show, if there's anything we can partner with you and your family on any home improvement project, from bathroom, kitchen remodels to full custom builds, detached garage, mother-in-law suites, finishing a basement, whatever the case may be, we would like the opportunity to work with you. Now, estimates are always free. Give us a call, 458-4135. Option 1 will get you right through to getting an estimate scheduled. Or you can hit us up online, pro93homesolutions.com. Hit that Contact Us tab. That comes to actually all three of us. We'll be able to give you a call, get something on the schedule. And again, that is free of charge. Don't forget, along with all your construction needs, we also have a full-scale clean team. Marianne Dalfina would love to come talk to you. We have a green clean option that does not cost you extra. If you thought you heard that wrong, we have green clean products that are free of ammonias and dyes and the chlorines. If you've got someone that's got allergies, asthma, maybe they just are sensitive to those smells, we have actually had customers that since COVID or they got COVID, things smell differently to them, and things that they used to be able to handle they can't, and they don't like that chlorine or that pine sol smell. Now you've got an opportunity. We can use our all-natural Melaleuca products. They do a fantastic job. They smell great, and they're completely organic. So we offer that. Doesn't cost you a thing. Again, that estimate is free as well. 458-4135 is how you get a hold of us, or pro93homesolutions.com. All right, we got that out of the way. I am joined today by some partners in crime of mine. First, my business partner and co-owner of Pro 93, Jesse Matthews.
Hey, buddy.
What's up, man?
Back at the radio show, man.
You know, I got to get about every 90 days.
A little more excited this time than I've been in a while.
He's getting better and better, man.
That first day was horrible.
It was so good. I said, hey, you're coming on the radio. And he was like, for what? Yeah, he was not happy, but he's growing into it. And I think it's his second time on the show, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's only three of us in here, Mark. Mark Russell, everybody. That's his inauspicious welcome to. So Mark has been with us for a little over a year and has been working as a project manager and doing our roof sales and estimations. And for those of you that know us or have seen him on here before, Chris Plank has been our estimator, been with us almost since the beginning of the company. He got an unbelievable opportunity to kind of grow himself professionally, and we wish him the best. Chris is a good friend and a brother of ours, and it's one of those that as a company and as a boss, I know Jesse and I were talking like, you're sad to see somebody go, but as your friend, I was super excited about the opportunity you got. So we wish him all the best. But that meant we needed a new full-time estimator, and Mark stepped into that role and is doing a great job here in these first 2 weeks. And so we want to get him on here to kind of introduce him to you guys. He's going to be the face of when you call in to schedule those estimates, he's going to be the person that comes out. Takes a look at everything from literally your floor to your roof. He might be crawling on your roof. He may be up in your attic. He may be checking out your bathroom to figure out where we're going to move stuff around. Whatever the case is, Mark will be taking care of that. So, Mark, just wanted to introduce you to the powers that be out there, our customer base, and our listeners here. Talk a little bit about who you are, where you're from, your story, and how you kind of got into the remodeling world.
Well, I bought a house once, and I didn't have a choice.
That's how that works.
That is exactly how that works.
Everything I know about a car is because I once owned a 1979 Ford Granada.
See, there you go. Plenty of room in that one to work on, though. I wasn't so lucky in the crawl space I bought. But, so I am from the Chattanooga area, born and raised, and yeah, so that's how I got into the remodeling business. Just had a house and had to work on it, had to figure out how to do a lot of things, and kind of started from there.
And I remember that house, and I remember some of the things you did, and it was kind of amazing how you kind of took to it. When did you realize, hey, this is something I may want to do? Because I know your background, you had done a lot of computer IT work. You've done sales. I know, musician. What was it about the trades, I guess, that really drew you in?
Because my favorite thing was always, especially from the first time I even completed a project that actually worked and did exactly what I wanted it to do.
Yeah.
Turned out exactly the way I wanted. I like the satisfaction of sitting back and looking at the job and being able to, maybe, for lack of a better term, pat myself on the back,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
take pride in your work, and, that's what we try to do here at Pro 93 as well, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I get a lot of satisfaction out of that. That's what drew me to this type of work.
And for those of you that are listening, I can tell you, Jesse and I have this conversation multiple times a month, if not a week. When you own a company, you can't ask people to love the company the way you do. It's not their baby, right? It's not theirs. But what we're looking for is exactly what Mark just said, right? And that's why we brought Mark aboard, a couple years ago. And he takes complete, just care and so much pride in his work. I can tell you, those of you that have had Mark work in your house and been a project manager for us and finishing out his jobs, he is a attention to detail perfectionist. He treats your house like it's his, and that is the best thing that we can ask for out of our people, is to take pride in the work of your hands. When we have our Monday morning meetings, one of the things I end our prayer with before we go out and separate, we don't see everybody all the rest of the week except that one time, is that, I ask God to not only keep us safe, but bless the work of our hands. And when we partner with a customer and we partner with you, if you've got something that you want to do, that's what we're in. I tell people, look, we'll do whatever you want us to do. We don't have to live in this house, you do. But we're going to treat it like it's our house. And that's even the little things. I think, Mark, one of the things that I know we get a lot of feedback from, and Jesse, you've heard this as well, is we leave a job every day like we're not coming back. And I know, Jesse, you are the job site cleanup guru. He is our OSHA officer for the company, just in case you need to know. Talk a little bit about where that mentality comes from you, and how we try to kind of impose that into our people.
I wouldn't publicize the OSHA regulator over here as much, but it does make sense to me, and it's important to me because I've been on job sites. I've been in the industry long enough to know that things happen overnight. Projects go for longer than just a night, and so you still have to live in your home while we're not there. If that means you're at work while we're there and then you're coming home that night, until you leave, you still have to step over tools, step over drywall, step over any type of lumber that might be on the job site. And if it's not organized to where it's out of your way, it's a major hazard and it's a major issue.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times I like to request from our project managers, make sure you clean up a job as if you're not coming back the next day.
And where did we see that just in these last couple weeks?
With all the freeze.
We didn't know
Right.
we weren't coming back to work. We didn't know we were going to miss 3-4 days of work.
Yeah. And you never know what's going to happen from the
Exactly.
night you leave a job to the next day. There's always circumstances that could happen.
Yeah.
I mean, you name it. There's always things that can happen. So it's important for us. It's important for us to where we have to understand this might be a 4 to 6 week project, but we want it to be as pleasant as possible. And a lot of that is not going to be pleasant if you come home from work and you're walking over everything in your kitchen, trying to get around your home.
Ben Franklin said fish and visitors both smell after 3 days, right?
And everybody
I don't-
wants you out the day
I
you
don't
get
care
there.
how excited someone is for a remodel.
Yeah.
I don't care how excited they are to get the work done. After a while, you're just tired of having people in. I don't care how nice they are and how clean they leave it. You're ready for us to be gone.
Yeah. And a lot of that too, though, is not necessarily we're moving all of our tools out or we're moving all the lumber out and the drywall materials. What I'm saying is it's best to have a staged area for all of the construction stuff that's on your job
So you
site.
continue to
so
have a
you
livable-
can continue to
Yeah.
have a livable space.
That's exactly right. And it's those kind of little things are things that we try to, the things we try to do to set ourselves apart. And we'll talk about this in a minute with Mark about his kind of philosophy on this. But, for us as a company, we want to be the things that we wanted to be to set ourselves apart in the market was we want to answer the phone when you call. We don't work, there's two horror stories you hear about contractors, and they start with, I gave this guy some money and I never saw him again. Or they started a project, they left one day, and that was 6 weeks ago, and now I can't get a hold of anybody. I don't know. We want to be the contractors that answer the phone, that show up when we say we're going to be there. We keep our appointments. And I think the final thing is we do what we say we're going to do. And we try to make our, and that means sometimes we're going to make some phone calls that you're not going to like the news we have. The nice thing about the remodel world is that it's different every day. The bad thing about the remodel world is that it's different every day. And we didn't build your house, so we can we might think we know what's behind the wall you want removed until we just had one this past week. Had a wall, did not think it was load bearing, didn't have any issue till we started to cut it and realized the binding on our, one of our project managers realized he was getting a lot of binding on his sewing. He said, there's weight on this. We get up in the attic and start digging through insulation, find a weird off-code, off-center brace nobody knew about that changed the scope of that job. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be honest with you for good and bad. But our job is to find solutions to those problems. That's one of the reasons we named the company what we did. And Mark, when you're out doing an estimate, and you've been doing these, not just, I know you're doing the full estimates now, but when you're doing the roofing and talk a little about your philosophy when you go out with somebody who may not know exactly what the problem is or may not know exactly what they want. How do you talk, or, what is your mentality when you go out and meet with those kind of customers?
Well, first and foremost in that kind of situation, it's the customer's house. It's what the customer wants to do, and it's my job to be there and figure out the best way to do that. If we can't do exactly what the customer wants to do, I'm going to try to stay as close to that as possible and make alternative suggestions to accomplish that goal.
Yeah.
My job number one is to make the customer happy. Basically.
Yes, absolutely.
And so that's what I'm striving to do when I go out and. And if a customer doesn't know enough of what they're talking about, I try to educate them so they do, and then we can have a good conversation about how to accomplish the goals and what that customer's trying to do with that space.
Yeah, and I can tell you, to that end, if you ask contractors, we love and appreciate all the home and garden and DIY networks because we get so many calls of so many people that it looks so easy on that half-hour broadcast that they didn't realize that was 6 weeks of editing,
right,
to get that 30-minute broadcast.
And then they move a bus, and there it is.
And there it is. And everyone cries, and it's happy. And then they've been working Saturday mornings from 8 to 12 on it for the last 6 weeks, and it's just not really looking the way it did when Ty did it. When Ty, before he moved the bus, it was way easier.
It's usually me moving my Jeep out, and I'm crying because my fingers are all cut up from something.
Yeah, so it's, for those of you that, and listen, there is no shame in throwing in the towel and realizing I bit off a little bit more than I could chew. And we will, listen, you're not going to get any grief for us because that's those kind of things are job security for us. We would love to come in, and even if you've got a project that's half done, and we can rescue you, do a little home rescue, we would love to. So we come back, we want to talk about, we talked a little bit about kind of our philosophy. We come back, we want to talk a little bit about the weather events and the things that have happened in the last 2 weeks. We have been inundated, in the last 10 days with insurance claims, trees down, trees on roofs, trees through roofs, broken water lines, frozen. Jesse's had to experience it at home himself.
Just because you're a contractor, you're not you're still going to have that happen.
Jesse has been a plumber. He's been a plumber this week, roofer and a plumber. So we're going to talk a little bit about things. If you're going through that process right now, how can we help you? And if nothing else, just give you some advice on how to navigate that process. So stay right there. No matter how you're listening, don't touch that dial. We'll be back here in just a minute. You're listening to Home Solutions right here on Mix 104.1 and 108.3 The Buzz.
Are you tired of going to YouTube or Google for answers to your home improvement questions? Maybe you have more projects than you have time. No matter where you are in the process, Pro93 Home Solutions is ready to serve you. Pro93 is a local, veteran-owned company offering residential and commercial remodeling, cleaning, and security. Contact us today at 458-4135 or online at pro93homesolutions.com. Let the pros at Pro93 find the solution for your home or business. That's 458-4135.
Welcome back to Home Solutions, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend. And no matter how you're listening, for everybody out there that's maybe you're running around today, getting some of your things checked off your weekly honey-do list, your errand list, you're running around. Maybe you're headed to one of the local hardware stores today, paint stores, doing some DIY work at the house. Maybe you're running the kids around. Maybe you are listening online. If you're streaming, thank you so much for that. And we got a wave. We forgot about everybody on Facebook. Hey, everybody on Facebook. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, Home Solution here, the only home and garden show here locally. And today we're talking a little bit about we want to talk about what's happened here in the last few weeks. We get these kind of winter events very infrequently here, I guess is an understatement. And really, we had unfortunately, but fortunately, if you're a contractor, you like to see a couple storms a year if you do roofs. But we had did not have a lot of bad storms last year, which is really great for all of us and our home insurance rates. But what we've seen here in the last few weeks has been that kind of uptick because of the snow, because of the ice, because of the melt, and now the rain right behind it, ceiling leaks. Finding out maybe your gutters aren't working the way they're supposed to. You've got some soffit and fascia issues that behind your gutters, and now you're starting to see it on your ceilings. Or even more dramatically, trees that got super heavy in the ice and snow and went through your ceiling or two floors. We had one with kitchen, tree in the kitchen. Needless to say, their lives are a little upended right now. So I got the two best people here to talk about that because of the experience Jesse and Mark have had here going through roofing and going through these sort of. Jesse's been in the restoration and kind of insurance world for such a long time. I guess, Jesse, when you have some sort of, you've got a claim, you've got some, calamity that's just happened, like, oh, there's a tree suddenly in my kitchen. People freak out. They really do. Sometimes it's kind of like paralysis by analysis. Mm-hmm. Do I call my insurance company, folks?
Absolutely.
Yes. This is why you are paying for it. This is that moment where whoever the carrier is, they need to shine. So what is your first advice when you have this thing, they've made that call? What are their first steps? So
the first steps is obviously to call your insurance company because that's what you're paying your homeowner's insurance for. The weather events that we've had in the last couple of weeks, with the ice specifically, the weight that is being put on trees, on your roof, on branches, on anything around the perimeter of your house, it's a higher percentage that's going to fall and it's going to damage, either puncture, or in the instance that we've got in the last couple of days, we've got 2 claims going on right now where big, huge trees had fallen down and damaged not only the roof structure, but it impacted the inside of the ceilings of their home, which affected walls, ceilings, floors, everything. So the first step is to contact your insurance company. The second step is to call us. Pro93 Home Solutions, we specialize in insurance claims. We work hand in hand with insurance companies. And what that means as a contractor is we need to mitigate damage as quick as possible so further damage doesn't happen to your home. What I mean by mitigation and protection would be if the tree's on your house, we have contacts with tree removal companies. Insurance companies will pay for tree removal. On most insurance policies, you contact us, we'll get in touch with tree removal companies to come in and remove any damages, any trees, any branches off the roof. And then once that damage is exposed, then we'll do everything possible to protect the rest of the home so no more further damage will happen to the rest of the house.
And folks, that's in insurance, what that it's these emergency type services is the way the insurance kind of sees this. This is, we got to get the tree off your house. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. And tree guys. The pricing is typical the same. insurance doesn't really push back a lot on that, honestly, because this is an emergency situation. This is like, if your septic blows at 3 o'clock in the morning and you get the guy out there, there's going to be a fee because it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Same kind of thing in these sort of situations. And what we see is when you get this kind of where this is not just a one-off, there are several people out there. Now you're in a competitive space where every tree removal place in town is already booked out. So if you can get anybody over there, you want them. And one of the things you can, calling us first means we're going to call people that are licensed, that are insured, that are bonded, that we have vetted as contractors, and especially because in a lot of locations and municipalities, there are extra license that goes with these things.
Correct.
Tree removal, arborist, those kind of things. And then I know Jesse will get into kind of the like the remediation side in a second, but you have a responsibility of a homeowner, okay? And this is where people kind of get caught in this limbo. They get this paralysis because it's never happened before. I don't know what to do. That's where having a contractor you can trust who has done this several times and knows how to not just work for you, but work as an advocate for you to the insurance company. Like we know, we have the computer software to speak their language. Mm-hmm. But people get caught in this because they're not sure what to do. But what an insurance company can come back on sometimes is if you know you've got damage as a homeowner and you haven't done all you can to mitigate it as quickly as possible, they could come in and say, okay, we'll do this initial stuff, but you left your roof open for a week and it rained 4 of those
Then the
days.
burden goes back they'll push it back to the homeowner, and they won't cover that claim if they haven't seen that you've done your due diligence and acted as quick as possible.
So don't be paralyzed by fear. Simply, and look, folks, and I will tell you, if it's not, it doesn't have to be us. Call a general contractor that you trust, that you know does insurance work.
Correct.
And has done insurance work, because you need to get someone that's going to fight on your behalf to get you made whole, because we've got lots of great friends that are in the insurance world. But let's be really honest. The insurance business model is built on they are there to pay you as little as they can to get the claim closed and get you made, and I'm using air quotes for those of you that aren't watching, whole, right? They want to get you back to whole. But if it's not everything, it's not everything. And sometimes homeowners don't know what homeowners don't know. You're not a contractor. You don't know the difference in the code. You don't know what's going on. And here's the thing. We experience this all the time in roofs. Every municipality has a different code sometimes on roofing.
Yep.
On how the pitch, the drip edge, what it's got to look like, how it's got to do, what you have to install. And if you don't have somebody that knows that, you could be shorting yourself with the best of intentions.
Correct. Yep. And also, too, it's important to call a general contractor. Obviously, I'm going to promote our company, but just call a good general contractor that does insurance work, like Dennis said. But another reason why you would call us is because behind the door behind us is a multitude of other trades that we have relationships with, that have done work with us, that we have a relationship with. And I'm not saying you can't just call anybody off of the Google advertisement of a tree removal, for instance, but if they don't know you and you're just an extra customer for them and they're busy, it might take a little bit longer than calling us for us to call our people that we have a relationship with and say, hey, I've got an emergency and we need to get this thing taken care of, because if not, this is going to cause more damages.
So Jesse and Mark, you can even talk to this too. So now we went out there, we've got the tree off the roof, we've got it tarped up. Mm-hmm. Again, those are all things that are just kind of these emergency services. Your insurance
boarded up,
is gonna
windows
cover.
broke, we can board, things like that.
Whatever we've got to do to contain the damage. That's the idea. Contain and mitigate the damage. Now the next step is everybody, not everybody, but there's a preponderance. Everybody says, well, give me an estimate what it's going to take to fix. Mm-hmm. Tell them why doing that sometimes is a foolish errand if you haven't seen your adjuster yet.
Because we don't know what the adjuster is going to go ahead and cover under your policy. We're general contractors that we know what it's going to take to do it in the field, but what is the insurance going to cover within your policy?
Yes.
The adjuster is the one that's going to be on behalf of the insurance company. It's their dollars that they're paying. We're working for that dollar amount that the insurance company is going to approve. So if we go in there and write a scope of work, but then realize that your policy is limited on some conditions or whatnot, then we're kind of wasting time. We need to go ahead and start.
With that adjuster
we need to have to start with that adjuster scope of work first. And then from there, we can expand, we can write supplements, we can add to a change order from what he originally had written, because he may not have captured enough of what really needed to happen.
Well, and to the adjuster's credit, he or she can only see what they can see. Adjusters don't go out and start peeling back things.
Right. So if there's floors that are there that have 3 layers of flooring and we have to get down to the subfloor, that adjuster's not going to see that until the contractor goes in and starts pulling things back.
And Mark, you can attest to this. How many times we went in with a scope that we saw, that we went into, but once we start peeling back the wall, there are surprises.
There is, and I'll tell people, I'll tell friends, I've done a lot of things, but I have never in my life been in an industry where the scope of work and the situations will change as quickly as they do in this industry. It's just the nature of the beast anywhere you go.
Yeah.
And with remodeling, you're mixing old work with new work, and so there's a lot more moving parts there than when you compare it to new construction.
Yeah.
So these things happen. You start peeling back a wall and find things that you never knew exist. I saw a water heater in a kitchen a few weeks ago, and you know where I'm talking about, but that was from the 50s. 40s or 50s, and I'd never even seen anything like this before. And it wasn't in use. It was just there. We did have to remove it, but I'd never seen it. So it's just, sometimes you walk into a place and you're just like, oh, what's our surprise going to be in this house? And because there's always one or two, always.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
And so I know what I said about insurance companies and their tendencies, and because it is their business model to try to pay you as little as possible. But on the adjusters, it's not the adjuster's money. I don't want to say that the adjuster is trying to short you, but the adjuster can, again, we haven't peeled everything back. Like you can see the hole where the tree went through, but you can't see the busted rafter underneath there that you don't know it happened or not.
Yeah. It's the simple saying of you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And that goes into specifics on this. You don't know what's back behind that wall until you start peeling it back. That adjuster doesn't know that.
And we only got a couple minutes here, but talk about, Jesse, if you can, because I think this is something very important about documentation and supplementation and having a contractor that knows how to work that process and why that's so important.
Well, the word supplementation is relatively new to someone that's never been through an insurance claim, but that word is very common in the insurance world. And what a supplement is, think of it as a change order.
Yeah.
A change order on a new construction project. You're under contract for a certain scope of work, and you get into diving into the remodel process and realize that you've got a second layer of drywall that wasn't captured on the original scope.
Yep.
Well, it takes labor time and it takes more materials of some sort to go in and capture that dollar amount to submit it to the insurance company, so that way the contractor can get paid for that extra work that wasn't approved on the front end of that claim. So that would be considered a supplement.
And your contractor, as long as you're under contract with them, that gives us the okay now to talk directly to your adjuster. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, I have watched this because I'm the cheap one of the three of us when it comes to money, and I don't want to pay for anything we don't need to pay for. So when Jesse's telling me, hey, we need Xactimate, which is the industry standard software for how they write scopes in insurance, I didn't want to pay for it. Mm-hmm. It is one of the best purchases we've ever made, because Jesse can write a supplement and Mark can write a supplement in Xactimate. And folks, it's a software system that gives a dollar amount to every screw you put in a wall. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Everything has a dollar amount. And if you can write that and send that to the adjuster, we just made him or her life ridiculously easy, because we just took some of gave them some of the time in their day back. So folks, I know we're running out of time, but if we can stress anything, again, if it's not us, find somebody you trust, somebody reputable, call your insurance agent. And I will tell you this again, I don't think I even said it. If your insurance agent isn't there walking through your process, because they can be one of the biggest cheerleaders and driving forces behind your claim getting handled quickly from the insurance side, if you've got an agent that isn't there for you, go find a new agent. Because those folks, we've got some of the folks that refer us business is because they are being as successful as they are, because when stuff like this does happen, they're on the phones with adjusters. They're on the phone with the home office. They're on the phone with the desk claims adjuster. to make sure that you're taken care of. So find someone you trust. I hope it's us. If you get in that situation, God forbid, but I promise you, we will do everything we can to fight for you, to fight for your family, and get you guys made whole. So with that, Mark, Jesse, thanks for being here this week.
Yes, sir.
Mark, we're excited to have you in this position, and I'm excited. Give us a call, folks, 458-4135, or go to pro93homesolutions.com. Let us get Mark scheduled to come out there. So until next week, remember to go home, love on your family, love on your neighbor, and remember, we're all in this together. We'll see you next week. You've been listening to Home Solutions right here on Mix 104.1 and 104.3 The Buzz.